There it is. Making sure we got everything set up correct here. Wondering why it says it didn't see me streaming. Alright, I'm live. Analytics look good. Stream looks good. So I guess I'm ready to go. Alright. Well, this morning I thought I would take this opportunity to do a little work inside. It's been, for those that don't know, it's been hot outside. Upper 90s to 100 degrees Fahrenheit with a heat index pushing, 115 degrees. So days like that, you pretty much spend your time inside. And it's been doing that most weekends. So when I'm inside, a lot of what I work on is electronics. I'm getting pretty good at it, for lack of a better description. And today, I've got a new toy. So we're going to transition over to this and give you a view. Alright, new camera. And I dropped, there we go. So what I have is an ESP8266. This is a microcontroller. And that is that chip right there. And that is a 16-bit CPU basically. And if you're wondering what I'm pointing at it with, let's see if I can hold these up. These will be tweezers. So this is tiny. The second chip next to it, that is the SPI flash chip that stores all the data. Now, these units are old. I've had them a few years. And in the meantime, since I've gotten them, they've changed out this chip, because this chip holds 512K, and they've replaced it with ones that hold a meg and 4 meg. So I ordered a replacement chip. Let me move this out of the way. Get that under the camera. That is the replacement chip inside of its packaging. And I'm going to transition back here to the main screen so I can hold this up. That is what you're looking at, that little bitty chip. There's some lag on this camera. There we go. So what I have to do is remove the chip from the card itself, which is about as big as a postage stamp, the card is, and put that new chip onto it. Now, let me reach down here. I haven't turned this on yet, but if I switch back to the chip, you'll see there it is. That's the tip of my soldering iron. It's a little bit bigger than those pins. So what you do to get these type chips out is you use a different device called a rework station that uses hot air. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and set it. And it will blow hot air down onto that chip and melt the solder. And I've got the unit warming up right now. I'm going to need to turn this. Let's see if I can do this under camera. That little camera's a little bit laggy. Okay. So you put this down on it. And heat up those pins. Oh, there it is. And I just dropped the chip off. So, trying to find it under the camera. There's a little chip that I just yanked off of it. I'm going to go ahead and open this package up that contains the new memory chip. Just peel this plastic back a little bit and grab that chip. If you think dropping a tiny screw is bad, try dropping one of these puppies on the floor. Alright, so let's see. There's the replacement chip. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to try and do, let's see if we can match that up on the solder pads. It looks like it'll fit. Now, I'm going to check my solder pads before I do this. Just make sure hey Grizz, I see you on there. Yeah, Ben Franklin in the morning. Alright. So the solder pads look good. They don't look too damaged. I'm going to take this little chip. Oh, okay, now I got to get my magnifying glass out. Got to figure out where pin 1 is on this little bitty frickin' chip. There it is. Okay. You got to make sure you get it going the right direction. Okay. I'm going to pick this up with these tweezers and we'll rotate this a little bit. Get that board moved out to where it's under the camera. There we go. Alright. Let me grab my hot air rework station. We're going to heat these up to the melting point. Get it? I don't think I got it. No, I didn't. I got it on cockeyed. Oh yeah, Grizz, that's a circuit board. What I've done with these, I've been building little projects with them. They're the ESP chip has built-in Wi-Fi, so it'll talk to the network. There we go. Let's try this again. I need to rotate this board. Grab this chip. just right. Alright. Nope. Let's try this way. Chips are so freaking tiny nowadays. Alright. So it looks like I'm going to need to bend the legs in on the chip just a hair to get this bigger chip to fit. And all I'm doing is rolling the tweezers up against the pins to get them to curl. Come on. I know you guys can't see this, but I'm getting it slowly. Alright. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Find my pin one here. Alright. Now that the pins curl a little, yeah, they line up much better. You know, I was doing computers back when you used to have to take memory chips out and replace the actual chip instead of the little modules. Let me set that down. I've lost my point. Trying to find the board under the micro camera. See my finger in there. There we go. There we go. Let's get this heat gun up. I got it set at about 270 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and melt these pads first. Alright, I think what I'm going to need to do, it's the first time replacing these type chips, so I think what I'm going to need to do is actually solder them with the soldering iron first. Put a little bit of solder on them and get a little flux going. Get that back into frame. Alright, so let's do this for the time being. I've got the soldering iron heating up. It takes a couple of minutes. It's older. Once I get this done, I've actually got several of these to do, but once I get the first one done, I'll plug it into the handmade programming board that I did, and we'll toss a sketch onto it and have it read the memory and make sure we did the upgrade right. Let's see how we're doing heat-wise. Nope. I'm just testing my soldering iron. See if it's ready to melt the solder or not. You can see me looking up at the screen. It's because I've got a screen pulled up that shows the circuit board up close. So when I'm working on it, I tend to be looking at the screen and not the actual circuit board, because, you know, these things are just too freaking tiny nowadays. Okay. I'm fixing the tip on the soldering iron. There we go. Alright. So, transition back here. What I'm going to do, redo these. So that just added a little bit of solder to it. And I'll get my chip now. Line this up. Hot air rework station. I'm gonna have to rotate that. Yeah, just knock the camera out. There we go. Alright, one more shot. Off camera, but that'll cool down. And okay, that side looks good. Check the underside, or the other side. That side looks good. Alright, so the chip is on. Move a couple of things around here for a second. Alright. Chip appears to be attached. So, I'm going to move this little camera out of the way because I need to get this and rearranging stuff on the desk. Okay. Let me point this big camera down. Alright, what you were looking at under the microscope is that little bitty chip is the one I removed. And that little bitty chip is the one I added. And I'm going to clean up my desktop, minimize. That. Minimize that. a second. I got way too many windows open. Alright, trying to get it so I can make sure I monitor the chat as well. Okay. File. Oh, that was good. Alright, there. We're going to go over to the... Oh. Didn't mean to do that. That's what I need. Right there. Okay. So, this is a little programming board that I made for it. I'm going to go ahead and plug that chip in there. And then I got to hook it up to the USB port. Oh. Something's wrong. The lights didn't come on. And if the lights aren't on, nobody's home. Damn it. Okay. I put that chip in upside down, even after everything I'd said about making sure that it was going the right direction. I stuck it in upside down. I'm pretty sure I stuck it in upside down. Let me check. Yep. It's in upside down. We can get it right way around this time. One side. All right. Puppy's still hot. Yeah, the diodes are angry at me. The transistors refuse to switch. Yes. All right. There you can see the little bitty video camera I'm working with. Okay. It appears that I got the chip in. And I didn't bridge any of the connections. So set this camera back out of the way again. Get the programming board out. Stick it into the programming board and still no blinky light. Oh. No wonder there's no blinky light. This will be entertaining. We find it under the scope again. I need to move this over. This little camera's kind of a pain to focus. There we go. Let's transition. Alright. So there's the chip I put in. Now, there's the blinky light, which it looks like I blew off in a resistor. Let's see where that goes. Should be... Ah! Oh. Wait a minute. Alright, I've ruined it. That's alright, they're $1 a piece, so it's not like I care. But, down here, that is a resistor and the light. And we're going to swap that board out with another one that I haven't modded yet. You can see that there's supposed to be 2 resistors and 2 lights. And it looks like both the resistors are there. Alright. So now it's become, can I fix it? After I broke it. And what I think I'm going to do for this, because, so first, well, it's the second time I use the hot air rework station, but the first time I've tried to do this type of mod on these chips. And not that it's a major deal. As I said, they're around $1 a piece, and I've got probably a dozen of them. I just thought I'd try this and see how it worked. It's actually an indication that my air is up too high on this. It's blowing parts off the board. Made a mess of it, and I bet that other little micro LED is underneath those. warming up the soldering gun. Oh yeah, I could use it. Jeff, you are so true. At this point, I would say it's a boat anchor, but it'd have to be a really small boat. So while I'm waiting on this to warm up, some of the things I do with these, and I've got a little one, I've got several of them, is I've got one project I'm working on right now where I hacked the remote control for the TV to figure out the patterns that the IR LED uses in it. I then put one of these little units on a board, put an IR LED, loaded up the encodings, and basically have it attached to the network so from your cell phone you can control the TV. The upshot of that is I don't have to find the remote control to the TV. If you got a cell phone, you connect up and you can turn it on, turn it off, change channel, etc. And I've got a couple of other ideas like that. Alright. It's on, but it's on sideways. Took the LED off. My magnifying glass again. Your wife wants one. Actually, the remote control the TV from a cell phone, I went ahead and laid out circuit boards for. And sent it off to a location in China to be produced. Alright, I'm curious. I'm pretty sure those two resistors were to control the flow of power to the LEDs. So what I'm going to do, no resistors, no LEDs, and I see the port. See if it'll boot up. No. So let me, since I don't have any LEDs on it, no indications, I'm going to put it in program mode. And let's see if it actually will take a program. Yeah. Let's reset it one more time. Nope, it's fried. All right. Let me, all right. So I'm going to double check a couple of things real quick. Magnifying glass. May need to touch up one spot here. Now I'll give it one more try, and just for the fun of it, let's see. That's my desktop with the software loaded. We're going to make a shot at putting it in program mode. And do an upload. The port disappeared. Alright, let's reset. So come in here. Still don't see it. Alright. I'm swapping the chip out with one that I know is good. Go to Tools. There's USB 1. Upload. You'll see it down here at the bottom. Looking at the wrong one. Try that. Oh, there it goes. Little dots moving across. Now this is the one that I haven't messed with yet. Haven't modified. Oh, that happens occasionally. Let's try again. That's probably that handmade board. It works 99.9% of the time, which is good enough for me. Okay. %. Now, if I go to serial monitor, alright, so the flash size is 512K, which is exactly what I expect out of this. Okay, let's unplug this. Plug the monitor one in. We're going to go back here and select no longer even comes up with the port. Usually a direct short. Doesn't come up. Interesting. The other option may be the other option. Unplug the board. Stab it into the board as a holder. What I'm trying to do do a little work on those freaking little bitty pins. See if it recognizes again. Okay. Yep, looks like I killed it. Oh well, no loss. And it was a fun little project to do on a live stream. There we go. As I said, I order these things 10 at a time, and I had 5 old ones that the memory is too small on. So for 50 cents I ordered 5 replacement chips and figured I'd try it myself. And what I could do, since I have a bunch and the older ones aren't very useful, yep, I murdered it. I'm going to move the camera down here. I'm going to pull the old chip off, or the new chip off. The board. That one's bad. Come on. I am grabbing the chip with tweezers. Okay. Actually, let me shift that down a little. We're heating the board up. Alright, let me check this. My magnifying glass here. That side looks good. Side looks good. And I did not... I turned the air down on the gun so it wasn't blowing as hard. And this time I did not blow off all those little transistors. Or the LEDs. Jeff, yeah, you are actually right. These little units are... in all honesty, they're pretty much equivalent to an IBM XT. Even with memory and storage. Ho ho! We got our little light here. So, we'll move this over. We are going to transition over to the screen. Go to Tools. Ah, we got USB. So I'm going to put it in program mode and upload. And it flickered. Oh, and it's programming. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I got a little flashing LED that says it's programming. And it finished. Let's go to serial monitor. Reset. Oh, that was pretty. So, this is a system dump. Yep, I got the chip in the right way. Looking for my... there it is. And we're good. And we're good. Okay. Well, we're going to try this one more time. Put it back into program mode. Upload again. I've had a bad upload from time to time on these as well. Not very often. Yeah, that dump like that is from the Watchdog unit in it that detects when there's a code error. And if it does it again, I've got a decoder here that I'll pull up. Alright, so let's go to the serial monitor, do a reset. Okay, I got nothing. We're good, we're good, we're good. Serial monitor. There we go. Oh, it worked. Okay. So, what we're seeing here is real flash size versus what's configured in this. So now if I come in here to Tools and I tell it we're going to go from 512 to 1 meg, and let's do a 1 meg with no spiffs, and put it back in program mode, re-upload the code. Okay, so spiffs is an actual file system that it puts on that little bitty chip. And one of the reasons that I need that is that once you program these correctly, you can have them update over the network. And in order to do that, you need a minimum of a 1 meg unit. And I've got 512. is. It's about not having to go find the remote control. Okay, let's open the serial monitor. Transition back. Alright, so 4 meg, set it 1 meg. So let's close that. Let's go back into Tools, and let's change that from 1 meg to 4 meg with a 3 meg spiffs. Put it back in program mode and upload. And we're rebuilding the options. IBM AT 4 meg. Yeah, but you really didn't get 4 meg until you hit the 386 stage. And this is 16 megahertz. So it may be a bit slow for a 386. What I think is interesting is that if you think about computer history, oh, there we go, 4 meg, and we show 4 meg setting. We have success. And I have 3 more of them to do. Not that that's really a big deal. And I'm not going to do them all on the live stream. Yeah, 83, 86. So this is how I've been spending my weekends, playing with this stuff. So far, just for the fun of it, I've built, hold that up, that unit, which is test circuits inline. I've built, I can't pull that one down. I've got a little room monitor. Actually, I can show you. Can't pull it down, but I can show you. Let's close that. And let's grab that. And let's go here. Okay. So, if we transition over, this is one of those little units. Oh no, Jeff, you cannot run AutoCAD on these. This is one of those little units on the network that's actually sitting over to this side of me. That's monitoring humidity, temperature, and well, humidity and temperature. Temperature in C and temperature in F. However, I've got this unit sitting over to the other side that's monitoring temperature, humidity, does heat index calculations, and this chart here is barometric pressure readings. And then it can detect if the lights are on in the room, and it can detect motion. Jeff? Really? CATIA? I'm still dealing with CATIA V4 on IBM XT, on IBM AIX boxes that are circa 1994. Now the new sensor box, well, this detects motion, but I don't have motion pulled in. That's the box in the spare bedroom that I do have motion pulled in on, and the lights are off in there. And then that is the remote control for the TV. And although on this screen it's all one line and kind of funky to play with, on a cell phone it's straight up and down like a remote control. And I can show you. So let's unplug this and move this out of the way. Let's get this in the camera field here. And I'm going to tilt this camera down. Alright, so if I transition over to this other camera, that's a breadboard that I've been working on. That is an infrared LED. And if I click, and it's not going to work for me, is it? How is that? Huh. Give it a second. Okay, you can barely see it flash when I click the button because I got the light on. That's, it's infrared, but the camera will pick up infrared. Move to Cadam, oh God. Hey Jeff, I've been dealing with Nastran Patran lately. Could I make one that skins a possum? Well, you know what? I could make one that skins a deer. Because I've seen that one done already. And that was something else. They put a deer up on a gramble. I think I said that right, gramble. And they did your standard Y cut across the hind legs. They attached a set of clamps, kind of like alligator clamps, to the skin itself. That was wired down to a winch. And pretty much they just pushed the button and that winch just yanked that skin right off that deer. It was something to see. CATIA V5. So before CATIA V5, they had CATIA V4 running on AIX 4 and 5, which are circa 1994 machines. It's a good solid platform. Now, if you're referring to the Nastran Patran, Nastran Patran is part of Stress and does airflow dynamics and stress that are applied to the various designs. So you basically upload a CATIA drawing into it, and then you run the stress analysis on it, and it tells you what's wrong. Tells you what you need to fix so the plane don't crash. Can you tell I work in aerospace? So let's see, what else do I have on the list of things to do? I've been School of Aeronautics. Yeah, I'm actually in the aerospace industry right now, with one of the manufacturers managing their cloud services and cloud servers. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Grizz. That's one of the reasons I cover that on this channel. Is you need to know where your food comes from, and you need to get a little bloody. Hey Jeff, I've spent quite a few years working for aerospace and airline companies, managing their IT. Well, managing may be a big word. Doing their IT, somebody else manages. I'm the one that does. I like to say I make things work. But CATIA and CADM and Nastran, Patran, multi-axis CNC machines with post-processors, that type of stuff. Yeah, I've built all the servers for them. Actually kind of fun to do. You have to throw some serious hardware at some of that. Sorry, I got a machine over here that I just recently installed liquid cooling on, and it's running fast. Temperature is... check my temperature here. About 10 degrees above ambient in Celsius. Huh. Very good. I've been looking at retiring, and I should retire before too much longer. Another 2 or 3 years, and then I'll be out, and the rest of the time is mine. Mine to play with as I see fit. I'll get to do a whole lot more videos then. Alright, well, I am going to call it into this stream. As I said, I've got 3 or 4 more of these things to convert. Make them... do better memory. You guys have a wonderful evening. Or morning. Oh, it's morning. Losing track of exactly what time it is. In other words, you have a good day. I'm gonna go refill my coffee. Get these other chips swapped out and go see what's for breakfast. Have a good one, Jeff. You guys have a good day.